After surviving relentless attacks from mercenary forces in the escalating oil wars, sources tell us that pleas have finally been answered for the besieged employees of U-Time Chinese oil refinery in the Middle East. Professor Chang, U-Time's director of operations, tells us that a private security team from China has volunteered to carry out the high-risk.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
That's right. That's Andrew, because Sam is not here, but we knew that, and that's okay. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm all right. I'm good. I picked that intro. By the way, I have to tell you this. I picked that intro for two reasons. One, it's how the movie starts, and it
Right.
gives you pretty good background into what's going on. Not background, but it gives you context to what's happening in the movie. The second reason why I picked that is, do you notice how the voiceover just dies, but the music keeps playing?
Yeah.
So,
go ahead.
So I was just gonna say, I watched this movie with subtitles because I'm old and I'm not in my normal sound system. I'm just watching it on TV speakers, so I have the subtitles on. So the subtitles gave me the rest of what was supposed to have been said. It gave me the rest of the police force volunteered to take them on buses to the DMZ or to the green zone or blah blah. Like, it gives you the full bit of information.
Right.
It isn't there if you didn't watch it with subtitles.
Which I didn't turn. That's interesting because I didn't turn my subtitles on until about 20 minutes into the movie, so I would have never known that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this is episode 446, and tonight we're talking about. Oops, I still have Leon the Professional up here. That's not right. We're talking about Hidden Strike.
Yes.
And
Hidden Strike.
Hidden Strike. And you suggested this solely on the fact that, well, not solely, but we didn't have Sam, we didn't have a guest, and so I said, hey, let's just do something dumb and fun. And you're like, well, this movie is streaming #1 on Netflix right now. It looks dumb and fun. Let's do it. And I said, absolutely. I think you had me at Jackie Chan and John Cena.
Yeah, I think that's all I said. And when I was looking through Netflix to find something for us to watch, I just saw John Cena in this red leather outfit with these fingerless gloves. And I thought, oh, please, God, tell me he's not doing Daredevil now. And then as I looked closer, I saw the title and I thought, well, what in the world is this? And then I saw the magic words, which were Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
And I said, we have to watch this.
Yeah.
John Cena, I can take him or leave in some things, but in Jackie Chan's world, there's not much that can go wrong.
No, there's not. And I've seen a lot of his films. I shouldn't say all, but I could say most. But who am I? Well, you don't know because I haven't told you. Since there is no other person, I decided to give myself a middle name today. And I think this one is pretty fitting to both the movie and to real life. I am Shawn. Giving middle names is my superpower. All red.
That's quite true.
Yeah. I think
is that anything like giving nicknames?
Yeah, that's the play on the joke.
Yeah.
Giving nicknames. I'm not, which is funny because I'm not good at nicknames. I've never given someone a nickname that stuck. Stuck? That stayed. Stuck is not a word. That stuck, I think, is the word I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Took, maybe? Took and stuck. Yeah, I've never given one that stayed. But the middle names, yeah, I do 2 or 3 a week. So I think they're usually pretty funny. Usually they're funny.
Yeah. I was known for about 18, well, no, probably a good 30 some years of my life. I was known as Chief to my grandfather and only my grandfather.
That's cool.
Yeah, because when I was a baby, I couldn't say Papaw, so I called him Ping Pong because he always played ping pong. And so instead of calling me Andrew, he yelled at me across a hardware store, which he owned, And I didn't turn my head when he said Andrew, but he said, "Hey, Chief." And I turned and looked at him. And from then on, he called me Chief.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool, like, that's just a fun memory,
Mhm.
like a little thing that you two of you had. Also, I love the Americana of, old man owning a hardware store. Like, there's just something very
Yeah.
American about that. Like,
I was so sad when Walmart came to town and put him out of business.
yeah,
But now I think, what would I do without Walmart?
yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's and Andrew,
Oh, I'm sorry.
also wants a rocket truck, Jemison.
I came here in a rocket car. Name that film.
Rat Race.
Rat Race. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, sure, the rocket and the squirrel lady. She heard us. Oh, yes, the squirrel lady. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the first thing I saw when I thought when I saw that vehicle. I was like, I came here in a rocket car.
Yeah.
But isn't that cool to have a whole jet engine on your vehicle?
On the back of the truck, which is
Yeah.
because I was expecting them to use it earlier, and then they would eventually use it. But the third time or the second time they used the jet, they used it in contradiction to how it's used earlier in the movie. Because earlier in the movie, the struts are out and it's just blowing sand.
Right.
Because was the e-brake not on? I guess I don't know. But the second time they turned it into a rocket sled, which was pretty cool.
So Shawn, I know that Sam's not here, and sometimes I remember to do this, and sometimes I don't. But here's what I'm going to do for Sam. You and I are going to be in a shed, and bullets are just going to be whizzing in. But I'm going to need you to grab everything that's in the middle of the room, please.
Okay. Because I'm closer, right?
Yeah, you're closer.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's fine. Well, as long as you look at the end, you look up and see if they've stopped shooting. So 2023's Hidden Strike, which, by the way, a stupid name for a movie, but it also sounds like a Jackie Chan movie title.
It does, yeah.
With his other movies like Police Story and Strike Force and Thunder Shirt or something. I can't remember, but this sounds like a Jackie Chan film.
Rush Hour.
Well, I mean, Rush Hour actually makes sense because that's a phrase. Like, that's actually a phrase that someone uses, right? Like,
well, it is, but did anything in the movies Rush Hour have to do with actual rush hour traffic?
Oh no, it's not like they were ever like in traffic.
No. Right, yeah.
Ever. All right, so here we go. So, known for Who Am I, which is actually a really good one of his. I like that one a lot. Rush Hour 2, Police Story. Let's see. Producer, no, I need him as actor. He's acted in 148 things. Good Lord.
Wow.
Oh, Kung Fu Panda 4 is in development. He's also doing a new Police Story 2 and a Rush Hour 4. He is Master Splinter in the new Mutant Mayhem.
Yeah, I knew that. I forgot about that, but I knew that.
That's cool. All right, so he has done let's see. He was in The Foreigner, which I didn't really like all that much, but that's fine. Okay, so he's other movies: Dragon Blade, Personal Tailor, Chinese Zodiac. I'm going over some of the dumb American ones that he's done. New Police Story, The Medallion. Oh, that was a bad movie. Accidental Spy. Mr. Nice Guy. That's a fun one. First Strike. Here we go. Rumble in the Bronx. That makes sense. Crime Story. Here we go. Crime Story. So yeah, it's just got Hidden Strike. Just has one of those Jackie Chan sounding titles. But what is Hidden Strike, Andrew?
Well, Shawn, that's a good question. Hidden Strike is about two elite soldiers that must escort civilians through a gauntlet of gunfire and explosions. And that's about it.
But that's not even right.
That's what that is what the description on Netflix says, and the the IMDb description says 2 ex-special forces soldiers, which again, I don't know if that's right,
That's not
must escort a group of civilians along Baghdad's highway of death in order to reach safety in the green zone.
But again, that's not right either. They don't
No, it's not.
escort. Okay, so if you don't watch this movie, which if you like action movies at all, and if you like Jackie Chan, I'm going to say this now, Andrew. This might be controversial, especially for a movie that has a 5.4 IMDb rating. I had a lot of fun with this movie, and I recommend you go watch it right now.
And I knew you would say that.
Yeah.
Because when I was sitting watching it, I was thinking, this movie is right up Sean's alley, and he's gonna give this a good score.
Yeah. Everything in this movie, I love. I love even the oh my god, the green screen. But
Yeah.
yes, it's cheesy. Yes, the jokes are over the top. The action is ridiculous. It is just a ball of fun and just Jackie Chan-ness all over the place. The trailer is playing right now because I'm on the IMDb page, and I'm just grinning watching the trailer again. But let's be very clear here. John Cena is ex-Special Forces. Jackie Chan is active Chinese military.
Right.
So let's get that. Secondly, John Cena starts off as a mercenary hired to kidnap the people that Jackie Chan is trying to escort to the DMZ or the Green Zone or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
And then once John Cena realizes what's actually going on, he decides to leave, and then his brother gets killed, and then he and Jackie Chan team up to stop the actual bad guys. That's the plot, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a little convoluted for a while, and I still don't know that I completely buy the whole he killed your brother? Oh, well, let's team up and get him. Like, it's kind of like the whole Martha thing in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, once they actually team up, it's a lot of fun. It really is, and you're not wrong. And I thought that they were going to play up because the bad guy says, "Well, make it look like the Chinese did the hit." So I thought that there was going to be more, like, "Did you kill my brother?" bit or whatever, and Jackie Chan, he kept saying, "Who killed my people?" And because he was more up, or who took my people? I think that's what he kept saying. Who took my people? And John Cena pretty quickly was like, "Yeah, there's my brother. He's dead. I guess it was the other guy." Like, he was pretty quick to just not assume that Jackie Chan had anything to do with it.
I wonder if that plot line kind of just got cut from the movie because the statement was made, "Make it look like the Chinese people did this."
Yeah.
To your brother, and then nothing ever came of that.
Yeah, nothing came of that. Also, nothing came of the French. They came, they shot up a little bit, they just left.
And of course, they're in berets, and they show up and, "Ha ha, what do you want to do?" I mean, with their typical French accents, which is, by the way, that was a terrible French accent, but and completely stereotyped. I'm sorry if you're French. I know that not all of you go ha ha before you speak. But it was just like, it was kind of cartoony.
Well, this whole movie is pretty cartoony.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a rocket truck. I know. Like, this movie is cartoony.
That is something that Wile E. Coyote would build to chase the Roadrunner.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is a weird sidebar. Do you have a favorite Wile E. Coyote contraption that he made?
I always loved, well, I didn't love them, but I always remembered the most where he would strap a rocket to his back and he would light it, and then the rocket would take off and he would be standing there.
Yeah, like the rope would fail him or something. Or yeah. I have vivid memory of two. It's stuck in my brain for a long time. First one is he is on roller skates, and strapped to his back, parallel to the ground, is a small bathtub that's also on wheels. And in the bathtub is a outboard motor that's attached to his back. So when he turns the motor pushes forward and therefore pushes him. And that's how he tries to gain speed to catch the Roadrunner. Obviously, that's not how things work. The second one is he has an ice box, like a freezer, strapped to his back with the door open, and ice is flying out into an old grinder that is somehow attached to some kind of motor that's projecting snow onto the ground, and he skis down a hill.
Yeah. I don't remember that one.
I one of those very vividly remembers. Anyway, I kind of felt like this was a movie that could potentially have lots of fun little side stories, because we don't want to talk about the movie, but I don't know. We'll see. With the two of us, we might not get on too many tangents. But let's do our 5-word review. How many do you have? And
I have
2 of them.
I have 2. I have 2. One of them is actually 5 words.
Okay.
And the other one's only 6. I didn't go crazy. So my first one is, man, I miss Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
It's great to see Jackie Chan in a movie. And I know, like you said, he's been in tons of things, and it's not like he's not been working, but we don't see him in big motion pictures that often.
Yeah.
My love of Jackie Chan really started with Rush Hour. And those movies, because it was about the time where I was able to watch PG-13 movies.
Yeah.
And so my parents would watch them, and they would let me watch them along with them, and earmuff when I wasn't allowed to hear things. But it was at that time, that I realized he does all his own stunts, which I don't know if he still does. I assume he probably does a lot, but he's getting older now, so I don't know if he still does that. But to team him up with John Cena like this is, John Cena, that's how he got his start. He was a professional wrestler, which we all know how real that is. And they have to make these falls and make these punches, seem real. And I think that has to do a lot with, doing your own stunts. And I don't know how many he did of his own. I haven't looked in trivia to see if it's even in there, but I think the two of them pair up really well, and I would like to see them in other things together. My other 5-word review, or a 6-word review in this case, is jet-fueled cheese, action, and fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because it is very cheesy in some sections. The scene where he is just covered in suds, I was actively rolling my eyes through the entire 10 minutes of that scene. And that was probably the worst part as far as being cheesy to me. But it did have some other gags and goofs like typical Jackie Chan fun movies would have. And if you stuck around to the end, it has the typical Jackie Chan bloopers at the end.
It does, yeah.
And you get to see some of the other antics that make this movie fun. And I think it was fun for them to make, and you can kind of tell that as you're watching it.
Yeah, Jackie's always having a good time. It looks like he's always just having a good time. Especially that one blooper at the end where he walks up and she keeps calling him the wrong name. And he's like, just call me Jackie Chan. Oh, that's funny. So I had 3. I wrote 3. So just I just realized mine's only I have 1 4-word review, so I'll take your 6th and add it to mine.
Okay.
So we're even. Kick flick action comedy, just simple. That's what this is. Kick flick is a just generic term I like to use for basically any of these kind of movies. My second one was pretty good buddy cop film.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good buddy cop.
Not quite Chris Tucker, but it's pretty good.
It's not quite their hijinks, but it's
no.
Like it. We're gonna get into it in a minute, but there's parts of this that reminded me of Not Justice League, Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did well, and rightly so, because you got 2 of the 3. Well, you got 2 of the Suicide Squad members on screen here.
2? Who?
Yeah.
Wait, Jackie Chan's in Suicide Squad?
No, Jackie Chan's not, but Captain Boomerang, who is our villain in this movie, is on screen too.
Oh, he's in the first one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, and he's Australian, so I don't know if you picked up on his
Well, I knew he
his
was
accent.
Australian. Yeah.
In this movie, but you can tell it comes out occasionally.
Pilu Asbeek, as you have the A and the E that are smushed together. Asbeck.
I think he's Australian. It might be.
No, he's Danish.
What?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So his character in Suicide Squad was Australian.
Yeah, and I think
That
his
shows how
character in
dumb
this
I am.
was. I think his character in this was okay. Well, so we've seen him before. He was also in Overlord, that World War II zombie thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What have we seen him in anything else? So Overload or Overlord, excuse me. Are you sure that's him? I don't think
No.
that's him.
No, I'm not. I thought it was, but I may be completely wrong.
Yeah, I think it's somebody else.
It's not him?
No.
Dang it. Okay.
No, that's okay.
So who am I confusing him with? Let me see this.
So the guy from Suicide Squad.
Oh, this guy was in Game of Thrones. That's where I know him from, not Suicide Squad. All right. So
So you're thinking of, let's see, I'm looking up Captain Boomerang. Does he have a name other than Captain Boomerang?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, so there's Greg's T-shirt vendor, Dexter Toller, David Harbour, U.S. Marshal. All right, I'll have to look at some more. Anyway, yeah, not the same guy, but that's okay. I didn't think that's why I was confused when you said that.
Yeah, I confused myself, I think.
Boomerang is Jai Courtney. We've
okay.
seen him. He was also in
yeah,
A Good Day to Die Hard, Terminator
Genesis. Yeah. Okay, so I'm an idiot. They look similar.
Yeah, an Australian white guy with a beard, sure.
Yeah, or Danish.
Or Danish. It's fine. It's fine.
Whatever he might be.
No worries. So that was number 2, right? So my pretty good buddy cop film. Well, I guess my point was when I said that it reminded me a little bit of Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad came out when?
2016-ish?
No, the new one, the one with John Cena.
Oh, the new one. I don't know.
It was, within the last year, right? 2020?
No.
2021? Yeah, 2021. Yeah.
Really? Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was during COVID. But 2021. Here's the funny part. This movie started filming before that one.
Really?
Yeah, this movie actually started principal photography in 2018.
Huh.
So that's partly why Jackie Chan and John Cena look so good, because it was 5 years ago.
Wow.
When they were filming this. So that's kind of why I'm watching this, and then when I learned that later when I was looking up trivia, I was like, wait a minute, that kind of explains why he was, I think, so good in Peacemaker, or not in Peacemaker, but in Suicide Squad, because it's like he had already kind of gotten his acting chops a little bit as the buddy cop, riffing off somebody else. Anyway, my third one was worst green screen of the year.
It's pretty bad. I mean, if you take a look at The Mandalorian, and and I know that's not green screen, but you know how well we could do in a studio, and then you look at this, It's a big difference.
I mean, everything, almost all of the movie feels like it's in a studio,
Yeah.
except when they're at the oil station or whatever, the refinery. But I mean, one of the opening shots where John Cena is in the back of his pickup truck hitting golf balls. He is 100% in a studio,
Mm-hmm.
and that green screen is bad. It's bad,
Yes.
but once I got past that, I didn't care. I didn't care. This movie just made me laugh. It really did. I mean, seriously, like if you like Jackie Chan movies, this is the only thing different in this movie than any other movie that's similar is, some of the action's pretty cool. Some of the fight scenes are pretty cool. You're still going to get some of the funny hijinks between two guys that don't normally team up. Some funny miscommunications. The scene though where he rams the truck into the oil trailer convoy, watching those trucks like flip into the air like they're Tonka toys, even though they've got, tons of oil in them, or
Yeah.
however you much.
Kind of have to suspend some disbelief
Well,
there.
you also really have to suspend your disbelief with the idea that a guy's going to steal a refinery and then steal crude oil.
Yeah. Well, and I another eye roll moment was when I saw like 20 tanker ships like pulling up, and they're like, "All right, boys, let's dock these babies." There's only one port for you to hook up this water hose or this oil hose to your
This is
whatever
not
they
a
use.
quick operation. This is something that will take days and weeks of plan.
Right.
Like, and this guy doesn't seem like a guy that's smart enough to. I mean, this is a how does he get these? Are these like corrupt, oil tanker captains? I mean, the Chinese come and like bust in the end and arrest everyone. Like, every part of it was just ridiculous. But,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
So another issue that I had, and I don't know if this is a translation issue from Chinese to, because I think most of this was filmed in Chinese, right? Because
I don't
a
know.
lot of the production companies, I mean, I know that they're speaking English in the film, but they refer to the flash drive as a dongle.
Yeah.
Now, I know of a dongle as a cord that is like an adapter. Am I using the term wrong?
So the first time I heard the word dongle used, besides just as a funny word, was when I was doing my internship for the production company. And the software I was using to record and edit audio was called Pro Tools. And in order to, you could, and so we bought Pro Tools for X amount of, dollars, right? And then Pro Tools and Final Cut Pro, which was the software we were using to edit video with, they'll talk to each other, but you have to have a security dongle. And so we bought this thing. It's like $100, and you plug it in. It's a USB drive that lives in the computer. You plug it into the computer, and then that allows the two, Final Cut Pro and the Pro Tools, to talk to each other, so I could send files back and forth without there being any kind of weird conversion. So it literally is a security device. In her case, it was a thumbprint scanner that she would plug into the computer.
Right.
So she would have to enter the code and use her thumbprint. Now, the fact that it was only a 4-digit code seems a little, in today's day of passcodes, but still. Right. But yeah, no, I think dongle is actually a right word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe, yeah. I've just never heard it used in that whatever.
In that use before, yeah.
Yeah.
That context.
Context. Thank you. That's the word I was thinking of. Gosh, I'm tired. Words are hard today.
This is the tagline for this movie, you guys. There is a plan. They just don't know what it is.
That's more accurate than the thing I read.
Yeah, it's dumb. All right, so I'm gonna cook through a few notes here. I did laugh at oil wars, so we've just decided, yep, we're gonna have wars about oil at some point.
Yeah.
My second note was lots of bad green screen. Then I wrote, I'm 10 minutes in and I don't know who the bad guys are yet. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're trying to be clever or what, but it was pretty obvious. Like it was not obvious who they were yet. Because like one of the Chinese men marked the bus. So I was
Yeah.
expecting there to be some more about the betrayal, but that just kind of got like I don't know what happened to that guy. If he
So didn't he join in once they started
did he?
hijacking the bus?
I
I
don't know.
thought I saw that guy kind of like turn around and leap on somebody else,
Oh, maybe I
like
don't.
knock him down.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I missed
I
that.
thought that's how they got the professor's son, was through
Maybe,
that guy. Yeah.
maybe. And then I wrote May is his daughter. I mean, I knew that well before the movie told me.
Oh, yeah.
You could just tell.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I wrote the plan was for the buggy to hit the windshield. I mean, that was how do you plan that?
That's all luck. Like, you can't know that that's going to happen.
I know. But they just calmly they're walking on the bus and they pull the trigger. And but I did say really cool camera work when they were fighting on the bus. I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool. I just thought that was the coolest thing.
I mean, it wasn't a long one shot, but it was, and it may not have even been a one shot. There could have been some CGI in there or something. I don't know, but
yeah.
and I feel like there probably was. But the camera just swirls around them as they're fighting in this bus, and now it makes the bus looks like the bus is the size of my bedroom.
Yeah.
And not just the width of the bus, but it's still pretty cool.
And height wise, I mean, the camera's looking down
yeah.
fight scene taller than the bus. It made me feel like that the bus wasn't real. Like they were on some kind of stage, right, where they had chairs and then
Yeah.
the walls and the ceiling were all CGI'd. It was all green screened. And that the camera had freedom to move wherever it wanted to.
And that very well may be how they did it.
Yeah, because there's another part where Jackie Chan is looking out the window and the camera is outside and then meets up with the van the bus and then goes through the glass in a seamless shot, which makes me think that glass isn't there. That's you know what I'm saying, like that the glass isn't there. They added it in. And that might be why on such a low budget why it took so long to make the movie, because they had so much CGI to add in.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and that could be another explanation for the 45 companies that produced this movie.
Yeah.
As you see in the opening credits.
Yeah. He's not wrong. There literally is like 6 or 7 production companies that did this movie. Let's see. They filmed this movie. Most of it was in the desert in China. Most of this was filmed in China.
Yeah.
But production dates February 28th of 2018 through December 5th of 2018. It took a year to produce this film. I don't know why they just sat on it. It's so strange. But they just
and it may have been a film that they wanted to go to theaters, and then COVID came and they pushed back the release date because they wanted to try again for theaters, and then they realized, you know what, it's not going to work. We're just going to go straight to Netflix.
Well, maybe they had to. Maybe they were trying to sell it to somebody. Maybe like
that's true.
Maybe once they realized Netflix, because I was trying to find some information about it, and I couldn't find any. And I didn't search that hard, but really, there's a ScreenRant.com hidden strike ending explained. What needs to be explained in this movie? What didn't you understand? The Hidden Strike's ending sees its heroes bringing a daring heist to an explosive conclusion while teasing a potential follow-up. I don't understand. Like, okay, whatever. There have been many movies that needed to have an ending explanation. This is not one of them.
No.
Let's see. Shooting Cena's brother was a bad move. Awkward game of catch. Having an angry game of catch back and forth. And I love that Jackie just catches it bare hand because he's a badass.
Yes.
I did. I just already mentioned it earlier, but I did write in my notes. I know I wrote it in my notes just so that I could play the stealing the whole purpose of this all of this was set up just so they can steal oil from a refinery.
Not a great plan.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just, I did so let me ask you this weird question. We both being music guys, we like to talk about the film score.
I did notice it in this one.
I noticed it too, and I noticed it actually being pretty good in that it sounded like I wrote the music is a cross between Transformers and James Horner.
Yeah. It kind of gave me, I don't know about Mission Impossible vibes or maybe some sort of spy movie type vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I could see where it was kind of James Horner-ish. I started to say James Hornery, but that's almost another word.
The only reason why I say James Horner, because there was a couple of moments, and I didn't capture it, I should have, where you get that James Horner favorite trumpet lick where he does da 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 dum. We heard it a bunch, Enemy at the Gate, and he does it a little bit in Apollo 13, and it's all over Avatar, the Blue People Avatar. That da 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 dum. It's like letting you know that there's something happening. And I heard it several times in this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at so the composer is named. The composer is Nathan Furst, F-U-R-S-T. He's a Californian, and most of the things I've seen that he's doing, it looks like, are video games. He's done a lot of video games. He did Need for Speed a few years ago. He did Act of Valor. So not a whole lot, really. He's still kind of, he's still getting there. Free Fire video game, Nightmare Shark TV movie. I gotta click on Nightmare Shark.
Hold on. I wonder if that's like a Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street type.
I don't know, but he also directed it. This guy.
Oh wow! Okay.
He directed it. An hour-and-a-half movie back in 2018. Survivors of the previous shark attacks are haunted by a supernatural shark in their dreams.
Yeah.
Oh God! Looking at the trailer of this thing. Oh man.
Is that what we're gonna do for October this year?
We should. Oh, we absolutely should. I don't recognize any of these actors. Oh man. Okay. Anyway, I actually didn't mind the music though. It was very actiony. It was very, it had that kind of Bruckheimer feel. It was good.
I did feel like the city where John Cena's character lives.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like if you pay attention to the construction of the set, it's very clean in my opinion. Like it looks too fabricated and not just like a mud hut would look, or a brick building would look, a raw kind of rough brick building. They look almost like they were made for a movie.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
There was another thing, I can't remember what it was, that just kind of bothered me about the movie. Oh, I know what it was. It was there are, every time you see the sky, you see the stars at night in the background.
Mm-hmm.
It is the worst looking sky you've ever seen, and there's nothing on the horizon either. It's just the city and the sky, behind them. So it's feels like a studio.
Yeah, it really did, and not in a good way. I mean, we knew 300 was filmed in a studio, but it felt epic and big and spacious, and even when they're outside, it's like, but are they though? Are they though?
Yeah,
I don't know. But still, for me, the hijinks between the two of them were worth it. It was just the whole hand signal thing, and this means 6, and
Yeah.
which I'm wondering if that's true. I never thought about that. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 is this, but to Americans that's hang 10 or hang loose, right?
Right. Or like he said, phone.
Yeah, or yeah, but he was like, that means behind is on your 6. And so at one point when he does that, Jackie Chan turns around and there's nobody there.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely, playing on each other, and it's funny.
It is, and the comedy worked because they do typical comedy things, right? They set up a joke and then there's a payoff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the way You Kill Me is have me go get the stuff in the middle of the room. He's like, hey, get the grenades. He goes, no, you get them. He's like, but you're closer. And then after the 5 minutes later, it's, you look out. No, you do it. No, you're closer. Like there's the payoff to the joke,
Yeah.
which made it work. So the
Well,
movie,
and even before that, I mean, you're right. It is very smart writing, I guess. How it's set up, because even before that, they accidentally pull the pin on this grenade, and they're both holding it, and then they have to like gently put the pin back in.
yeah, in that typical texture,
Right.
be careful. Yeah.
And then you don't realize it, but literally, like at 30 seconds later, they're going to be throwing grenades, and
Yeah, and then he says like, "Why pull the pin?" He says, "I didn't say pull the pin. I said, I can't." He says something what Jackie Chan hears as pull the pin, so he pulls the pin and throws it. He's like, "What?" He throws it right outside. The fight scene between the two of them was actually really good, though. I thought that was
Yeah.
really well done
with the crate.
because John Cena is a big man, a strong
Uh-huh.
man. So there's one scene where Jackie Chan's like flipping around him, and then is gonna try to get leverage to flip him, but he can't because he's just not strong enough. Because John Cena is such a big guy. John Cena just looks at him and then just lifts him up and drops him down, and then he ends up using that gun crate and keeps like smashing him on the toes and stuff. I mean, it was really great.
Yeah.
That scene was so good. Oh my gosh, one of probably not top anything of my favorite Jackie Chan fight scenes, but it was still a Jackie Chan fight scene. He still got uses his environment to his advantage, and
Mm-hmm.
that's always been a favorite of mine.
Oh yeah.
I did write down some trivia. There's not a lot of trivia, but this is one that I haven't played this in a while, and I feel like I need to, but I gotta find it. Hold on. This is worth the wait. Okay, this is what I call.
That is one big pile of shit.
Okay, Sylvester Stallone was originally attached to the project, but dropped due to commitments with Creed 2. John Cena replaced him in the role. I cannot see Jackie Chan and Sylvester Stallone in
No.
a buddy cop film.
I mean, Sylvester Stallone has done some comedy, but
But in
none
the
of it
last
was
20
great.
years?
And none of it's been right in the last 20 years.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Expendables isn't supposed to be funny. It's just fun.
It has
But-
funny moments, but it's not funny. It's not a comedy.
Funny. And maybe that was the goal. Maybe originally they were supposed to be just a straight action film, and then they realized that John Cena can be funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
The highway of death referred to in the storyline is being near Baghdad is not in Iraq. The highway of death is actually Highway 80 coming out of Kuwait. Now, here's the interesting part. And I don't say interesting because it's bad grammar, right? It's a stretch of road where between 1,400 and 2,000 were destroyed, damaged, or abandoned.
So I assume they're talking about cars.
I
or
guess
vehicles.
cars. And then the U.S. and coalition forces caught Iraqi forces retreating out of Kuwait City and decimated them. So again, are they cars or people or soldiers? Like I don't. It's bad grammar.
Yeah.
But, and then the last thing I wrote captured was that at the beginning of August of 2018, a few weeks after the start of filming, the film crews were surprised by a mudslide caused by torrential rain in the northern region of China.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that's it. You ready for a few clips?
Yeah.
I got a few
Let's do it.
here. Here's the first one. Here's the first time we hear John Cena.
Gets it all and is happy with it. Looks happy, looks concerned. He's concerned now. It's in the same.
And the face he makes as he looks concerned is great. It's a great face.
Yeah.
We mentioned this just a minute ago.
I think they're gone.
How do you know?
No more shooting. Take a look.
You look.
You
look.
You closer.
Oh my gosh. All right. Speaking of the hand signals.
Did you say I go high, you go low?
I did go low. Then I went high.
Okay. From now on, no more talking. Hand signal. You know hand signal, right?
And he just gives him a thumbs up. I love that. Hand signal, he just gives him a thumbs up. Which is funny. Which is also in the moment when he said, "You do know hand signal," all I could think of is, would the Japanese and the American forces hand signals be similar enough that they could get what they're trying to say?
Or I wonder if he had training in the American signals, hand signals.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. All right. I really wanted to make a sex joke out of this, and if Sam were here, I would, use this at his expense. But we're just gonna play the clip and let your imagination go from there.
Hey! Slow. And put in the hole.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You ever get that way though? Putting on that happens to me. Not on a regular basis, but I get really frustrated trying to put on a seatbelt sometimes, and it gets stuck. And I halfway expected him the first time to rip it off the wall of the.
And he does
truck.
the second time.
And he does it the second time. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I think it's happened to everybody that's tried to get into. Like you're in a hurry, you're late for work or whatever. It's raining, and then you pull the thing and it stops. You're like, okay, do something. All right.
Yep.
Nicknames are his thing.
Hey, Knox! I've been racking my brain this whole time to try to think perfect nickname for you. Sharpie head or one-eyed trouser snake, daddy issues. But I just figured out right now the perfect nickname for you. Sura. You know why? You out of bullets.
Yeah.
And he was good at speaking Chinese. At least it sounded good to me.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Mandarin, I guess I should say. Last clip.
You keep a machine gun under the seat?
American. Guns everywhere.
Yeah.
How true.
Yeah. All right.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
So Andrew did the game this week for us, even though it's just the two of us. So I guess he's just going to ask me questions and see if I notice things.
Yeah.
Which the answers will probably be no. But the game is, of course, hey, did you notice? And Andrew's going to ask me a series of questions about things I noticed in the film. And if I win, great. If I don't, well, that's fine too. Go ahead, Andrew.
Well, I was gonna find things. There was a code that popped on screen for the password, and then there was like numbers on license tags, and there were numbers on sides of vehicles. But I didn't want to go that obvious this time.
That obvious.
So, so if you paid attention to that, sorry. All right.
I did.
So once John Cena and Jackie Chan's characters are in the rundown radio tower bunker,
Mm-hmm.
how many grenades do they either hold or throw at the French people? in that scene?
I would guess 5.
That's a very good guess. Because that's right. All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
So the first one is the one that they like pick up and they pull the pin out and then they put the pin back in.
Put the pin back in, yeah.
Right. And then the next 4 are the ones that he throws and he just tosses them out the door. Which I watching him toss them out the door, do you not think those doors would be blown back in on him?
Well, here's my real question, because we see the Frenchman set up there to shoot 40 or 50 yards away.
Yeah, quite a distance away.
Yeah, and those grenades are going 5-10 feet out. So like, I don't know if the purpose was to scare the French into stop shooting, or hope that a little bit of shrapnel maybe gets one of them. I'm not sure what was the purpose of it, other than just to make a lot of noise and have a gag. Because it's not like he was throwing them like a football, like out.
Right.
Yeah. All right, cool. 5. Hey, I got one right. I'm surprised.
All right. Number 2. What animals does John Cena mention as he's singing Old MacDonald? He mentions 4 animals.
He mentions I remember the ones that Jackie Chan did. So he mentions a dog. He mentions a cat. He mentions a cow. And then he mentions a monkey, which is what forced Jackie Chan to come up and say, no, that's not a monkey. This is a monkey.
Right. But he also mentions a chicken.
Oh, the chicken.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right. So I'll give you mostly credit for that. Yeah.
3/4 credit. Yeah.
All right. What are the names of his vehicles in this movie? He's very passionate about the names of his vehicles.
Sheila Sybil. Sheila was the blue truck.
So the blue truck was an S name, but it was not Sheila.
Celia. Dang, I don't remember. But I remember he when she just doing the U-turn, she hits the bumper and he just and then of course he just gets destroyed. He says, "If you say it's a flat tire, I'm going to go up there and kill you." Oh, that was a funny bit. I don't remember her name, but it was again with an S. Let's see what else. The white 4-door pickup that got all shot up. I don't remember that one. I don't remember that one's name. It was something like Dorothy or Betsy or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, you're on the right track. It's an old white lady's name.
Yeah. Was there a third vehicle?
No, it was just those 2.
Just the 2, okay.
But he had Susie. And Ethel. Ethel was the white truck.
Yeah. Yeah, an old white lady's name. Yeah.
I've never named a vehicle that I've owned. I don't think that's something I've done.
I have. You
have?
My Jeep is named Gandalf because it's gray.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I really I'm actually in the market for a new vehicle, and I test drove a white vehicle, and I was like, ooh, if I get this white one, then it'll be Gandalf the white after having Gandalf the gray.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right. So the next question is, in the oil refinery room, there are 5 clocks on the wall.
Oh, geez.
That represent different cities around the world. What 5 cities?
These are all gonna be guesses because I have no idea. So, an oil refinery in Iraq. So obviously there's a local time. So there's they said they're in Baghdad, right, or near Baghdad. So local time, Baghdad.
So you got one, yeah.
You're probably gonna have one for probably New York.
2.
It's a Chinese-made film, so maybe Hong Kong because it's a port city.
Not Hong Kong.
But is there a China base?
There is, yeah, there is one.
So I just picked the wrong city. Not Hong Kong. Then it would be I don't know what else. What other port city in Hong Kong would it be? In China. Dang, I can't think of it. All right, so I'm gonna move on. I'll move past that. So that's 3. So there's 2 more, right? So,
well, you've gotten 2 so far. You said New York and
but I got the
No, that you did say New York.
I
Okay,
did
so you
say
said Baghdad and New York. Yeah,
yeah, Baghdad, New York. It's something in China. That's one.
but it is something in China. Yeah. So there's 2 more after that, though.
That's like the China one's really bothering me. I'm trying to think of another big port city in China, and you're gonna say it. I'm like, oh yeah, of course, it's a port city because it would have to be a port city because they're shipping.
Well, you would think.
Maybe it's not a port city. Maybe, but it was in Beijing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Beijing. Okay, so it doesn't matter that it's a port city. It's just a capital.
right.
So then maybe London.
Yep, London's there, so that's 4.
That's 4. What other?
You got one more.
What other capital would they care about? Would a oil refinery care about? Only thing I think of is either Tokyo or LA. So I'm going to guess LA.
It's Tokyo.
Tokyo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you were right. Yeah. All right. And then the last question I have here is John Cena in this film plays baseball.
Mhm.
He plays golf. But there's one more sport that's not played but seen on screen in this movie. What is it?
Sport that's played but not seen.
No, it's
Or
not played.
Not played but seen. Like on TV in the background or something? Or
No.
Oh. You're not going to say pole vaulting when he goes from that on that pipe.
No.
Okay. Rock climbing when he bungees himself up and he's going up the whatever that thing is.
No.
There's sport. Like a
This is a sport that actually has points and you keep score.
Keep score. So there's no basketball reference. I don't think there's a football reference.
No.
There's no soccer, which would make sense because it's the most popular sport in the world. I don't know. This is I don't know.
Darts. Yeah, in his little home there, he has a dartboard on the wall.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Right on.
Trick question. But yeah, there you go.
Hey, I'm surprised I did as well as I did, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you did well.
A little bit of that was a little bit of logic. That was good. I appreciate that, Andrew. That was fun. All right. Time for this.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
This is where we're going to give this movie a score from 0 to 10. And, of course, Andrew has to go first because there's no one else here.
Yeah. Well, I did enjoy the movie. But for many reasons, I can't give it a perfect score.
Oh, God, yeah.
No. But it's not bad. IMDb has it at 5.4 out of 10. I don't know that I would want to watch it again anytime soon, but it's fun. If it were on, and I walked into a room and it happened to be playing, I'd sit down and watch it again. So I'll go a little higher than that. I'll go 5.9.
All right. Yeah. No, I mean, this is this is not a good film. I mean, there's some bad things in this movie. There's some bad green screen effects. There's some real cheese dialogue. There's a lot of that stuff going on. There's also just a lot of fun and like real comedy and all of those things. And I mean, yeah, again, will I watch this one again? No, I could probably list off 10 Jackie Chan films I would rather watch over this one. However, I can also name 3 or 4 I'd watch this over. Like I'd watch this again before I watch The Tuxedo, or Accidental Spy, or The Medallion. Those are bad movies. But I would watch, a bunch of the other ones over this. With that all having been said, I'm going to give it a 7 because
really? Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I know it's high, but Andrew, this was the perfect movie that you picked for this weekend, for this week. It was just.
I'm definitely recommending that people should go watch it because it's short. It's only an hour and a half or something like that, somewhere around there,
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So go give it a watch.
Yeah. In fact, I was talking with Jen today from my streaming bubble, And she's like, "Hey, what have you been watching recently?" And I was like, she posted on her Facebook, "What have you been watching recently?" And I told her this for the show, and she said, "Oh my gosh, that sounds fantastic." And I'm like, "It actually kind of was." So yeah, not very often do we recommend not a great movie to watch. I mean, for a movie that just scored on our list a 6.45, I think we both would say that you should watch this.
Yeah. I mean, if you just want a fun, like, turn your brain off and just enjoy a movie, you want a little action, this is it. Yeah.
And I will just for our good listener friend Rosie, and anyone else, there's for as much violence in this movie, it's kind of Jackie Chan violence. So there's
no blood and guts.
There's not any blood, not really. I mean, one guy, the brother that gets shot, but there's no like crazy blood, whatever from it. There's no guts. There's no really any swearing.
There's a few little things here and there, but not bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, right. I mean, this is as PG-13 as you get. I mean, this is the same level of violence as a Marvel movie.
Probably less, to be honest.
Yeah, one guy did get his face burned off. So I mean, there's
yeah.
But anyway, but that's okay. So yeah, that's our movie. That's it. I have nothing more to say on this movie other than go watch it. Thanks again, Andrew, for hanging out with me tonight and for recommending.
Absolutely.
But next week,
pleasure.
Andrew, you're in for a treat. Next week.
What is next week?
Oh my gosh, you guys! Next week, are you ready? No, you're not. Sit down. Here it comes. Next week, Cameron from the Green Shirt Podcast, A Newbie's Trek Through TNG, is rejoining us, which means it must be a sword and sorcery movie. We are doing, drum roll please, Dungeons and Dragons. That's right. We are doing the new Dungeons and Dragons movie with Chris Pine. I am stoked. I've already seen this movie once. I can't wait to watch it again. Cameron's watched it 3 times already. He can't wait.
I've seen it halfway.
You've watched it halfway on a plane.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you to finally watch it. You guys, I am so excited for this movie. This movie might push King Arthur Legend of the Sword out of my top area for best sword and sorcery film seen in a while.
Okay.
Because you know how much I love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I absolutely adored this movie. So I'm looking forward to watching it again to see if it holds up or if it doesn't. So join us next week for some sword and sorcery shenanigans with Chris Pine and Dungeons and Dragons. In the meantime, go to our website, cheapseatreviews.libsyn.com. There you can find links to all our social medias. Give us a follow there, please. Join our Discord also if you want to. Leave us a review on all the places, Spotify, iTunes. Your reviews, really, they just make me happy. And we haven't gotten one in a while. It's actually been kind of a while since we've gotten one, so it makes me a little sad. So go on there and leave a review and make me happy again. Anyway, that's it. So on behalf of Andrew and Jackie Chan there behind him, this is Shawn saying thank you all so much for listening. And we'll see you next week for Dungeons and Dragons.
This is Cheap Seat Reviews.